The speakers on this table are all, oh God. Hello and welcome to my channel. Now if you know Klipsch, you know that they have speakers all the way from the very fancy premium heritage line that are thousands of dollars to speakers that are rocks that you can put in your yard to hide. Now I know there are other Bluetooth speakers out there in their lineup, but this is what I have. The City series here tend to get louder than a lot of the other Bluetooth offerings out there, and they're mid-range on price. They're not charging a premium for that. And the one and the three here offer a whole plethora of connection options that you won't see in other speakers. By the way, I am not sponsored by Klipsch. They did send some of these speakers in for review, others I purchased. They don't get to tell me what I'm gonna tell you. Appreciate you guys. The Klipsch lineup has something unique about it that you should know that kind of differentiates it from other brands. They have something called broadcast mode. Say for example, I wanna connect this Klipsch Austin to the one here and have them play in sync, they will do it. Not in stereo, but in mono. And if I want to add the Nashville or the Detroit or the 3, I can keep adding them and you can basically fill up your whole house with audio. But their button scheme is a little backwards, so here's some things you should know if you actually want to utilize this feature. So you can only have one Bluetooth device connected and it needs to be to the speaker that you initially start the broadcast with. So if you have a phone that connects to two Bluetooth devices at the same time, you need to kill one of those connections if it's connected to another one of these guys. You'll get nowhere, it'll be very frustrating. On the Klipsch one and the 3, it has this little utilitarian button on the back. You just tap it twice. It puts it into broadcast mode, which is a white and blue light turning on and off. And then you go to your other device. If it's a Klipsch 3, you would just tap that utilitarian button twice again, and they will sync up. If you come over to the Klipsch City series though, the button scheme is a little bit different. I would have to hold the Bluetooth button and the plus button for 2 seconds. Hit it, 1, 2, and then you go, let go. Yep, there's many times you'll do it and that won't happen. So now it's in, it's trying to look for a broadcast signal. That's the sound. That means they have synced up. And if you hold it down too long, it'll reset the speaker, which is really annoying. Another bonus feature about these speakers that they all have is you are able to connect your phone or other device into the USB-C port for charging. They are also all EQ friendly, meaning you can go into the Klipsch app and adjust the EQ on any of them from rock to your custom setting to bass, and it works fine. For $80 to $100, you can get the Klipsch Austin here, and this thing does pack a punch. It's got a 2-inch driver inside and 12 hours of battery, and it gets loud. It gets just as loud as two of my other loudest mini speakers, the Tribbit Micro 2 and the Ultimate Ears Mini Roll. I've been impressed with all of those speakers, and this one stands right up next to them for a comparable price. It also has a little strap here so you can attach it to your bicycle or something you want to attach it to that is pole-like. Now, if you need a little more juice and battery power, you could step it up to the Klipsch Nashville with 24 hours of battery life. So if you were insane and you wanted to listen to music for 24 hours, you could. This speaker with two 10-watt amps inside of it drives quite a bit of sound. I would say it's comparable to the Marshall Emberton 3, the Flip 6, and all of kind of the top tier brands. It's IP67, so you could chuck this guy in the lake if you wanted to. Now, whether or not you like the utilitarian design of it is another subjective thing here. This is the Klipsch Detroit. This is the bazooka of the Klipsch City series. It's vaguely round. This is a pretty hefty speaker. It's almost 6 pounds, and this thing gets loud. It gets a lot louder than the Bose Max, the JBL Extreme 4. I would say if you are looking for like the loudest, this produces quite a bit of juice. You can expand it if you want to. You just kind of pull these and then you could take it on a trip with you. And I think it goes quite a bit more than that. I honestly find that the sound out of this thing is pretty clean. Maybe not quite as buttery as some of the other brands, but it really just comes down to a personal preference. Now, if beauty is important to you, this is the Klipsch The One Plus in walnut. I absolutely love the styling of it. I think it's really premium feeling. It's kind of heavy, and it provides quite a few audio options for you. Not only is it Bluetooth with the broadcast mode, but you can also listen to USB-C high fidelity audio. So if you want to plug your phone into it or your computer or whatever else can do USB-C, this thing will play that audio directly out of it. The one thing to know about these speakers is this little brass button back here is your audio input button. So if you want to change the source, you press that button. And to just be extremely honest with you guys, I like the sound of this. It's got a really nice natural sound, but I personally kind of prefer the original Klipsch One 2. That's the name. It's very confusing. But this speaker, if you know what this looks like, I actually prefer the sound out of it a little bit more. You can get a really good deal on these. It really comes down to what do you like the looks of most? Because this is a piece of furniture. And what you are trying to do with that is you were trying to enhance the aesthetic of your house. So they all sound good. So it just comes down to whether you like the looks of it or not. The Klipsch The 3 Plus. This is the biggest of the lineup that you can get currently. This is in the ebony wood color. I prefer the walnut over this. I think kind of the details of the black kind of get lost. The reason you would want to get the Klipsch 3 here is just because it has a plethora of more connections. You get like 4 sources of sound out of this. So you've got your Bluetooth with your broadcast, you've got your high fidelity USB-C, you have an optical input for high quality audio if you have a system that can utilize that, and it also has the analog RCA inputs here if you are listening to records or something like that. And it's got a little switch here for switching between phono and line input. But it doesn't have an aux input, so just keep that in mind. I don't know why they didn't just throw an aux input. If you want the aux input, you gotta go back to the Klipsch The One Plus. I personally kind of prefer the Marshall Stanmore 3, just in terms of the looks, and I like the sound of that one a little bit more, but there's nothing wrong with this. And they also have the JBL Authentics 500, but that's generally a much more expensive speaker than this one. And that one is really 70s style. So if you don't like 70s style and you want mid-century modern, I mean, this is really your only choice. I hope that you got some clarity out of like kind of where these stand and what makes the most sense for you. This is just a helpful video from me to you to kind of give you a hands-on look of the itty-gritty kind of details you wouldn't get from just looking at it online. We just spent probably a good 7 minutes together. And I hope you learned more about who I am, and maybe you'll leave a comment and let me know something interesting about your life. So if you made it to the end of the video, let me know if you did, and tell me something about your life. What did you do today? I just like reading those comments. Thanks, guys. Bye.